Rose, I need to tell you something, and I need you to promise not to laugh, because what happened to me on my very first day in this city was honestly one of the most confusing experiences of my entire life. And I still think about it sometimes when I can't sleep at night.
Jack, you already know I can't promise that, especially because I've heard bits and pieces of this story from 3 different neighbors, and every single version somehow gets worse. So at this point, I'm just excited to finally hear it from you directly.
Okay, fine, that's fair. So it's my first morning here. I have got boxes everywhere, coffee in one hand, way too much confidence in the other, and I walk into the lobby feeling like I'm about to make my first real friend in this city. Big main character energy.
Oh no, I already feel nervous for you, and you haven't even gotten to the actual story yet. Please continue, because knowing you, this confidence probably lasted for about 30 seconds before something completely fell apart.
It lasted exactly until I saw this older woman standing by the elevator with a tiny little dog. And I thought, perfect, this is my moment. This is how I introduce myself to the neighborhood. So I smile and I say, hi, great dog, very handsome.
Jack, please tell me you did not say handsome about a dog to a stranger you had never met before in your life.
I did say that, and honestly, in my head, it sounded completely normal, like a nice compliment. But the woman just blinked at me and didn't respond at all. And her husband, who was standing right behind her, gave me this look like I had personally insulted his entire family.
Okay, that's already bad, but knowing you, I feel like you didn't just stop there, because you never know when to stop. That's kind of your whole personality in one sentence.
You're right, I didn't stop because I thought maybe she just didn't hear me properly. So naturally, I repeated the exact same sentence, except this time much louder, right there in the lobby in front of everyone, like I was making some kind of important announcement.
Jack, no. Please tell me you did not shout the word handsome at a confused woman's dog in a public lobby on your very first day living in this building.
I absolutely did. And the husband crossed his arms, the dog started barking at me like I was a threat, and then the elevator doors opened and all 4 of us stepped inside together and nobody said a single word for 4 entire floors. It felt like a horror movie, honestly.
4 floors of complete silence with an angry couple and a barking dog sounds genuinely traumatic, but also strangely hilarious. And I'm sorry, but I'm already imagining your face during that elevator ride.
My face was doing everything possible not to look directly at any of them. I was just staring at the numbers above the door like they were going to somehow save my life. And honestly, that wasn't even the end of my very eventful first day either.
Wait, there's more? Please tell me the story continues, because I genuinely thought the elevator disaster was the entire tragedy. But apparently, your first day had multiple chapters of awkwardness planned for you specifically.
Later that afternoon, I go downstairs to that little cafe to get another coffee, mostly because I desperately needed something to calm my nerves after the whole dog situation. And there's this barista working behind the counter, and I decide, okay, let me try small talk one more time.
Oh no, Jack. What did you say to this poor barista? Because I have a very strong feeling this is not going to end well for you at all.
I wanted to sound casual and confident, so I looked at her and said, so, do you come here often? Like I was in some kind of classic movie scene. And she just paused, looked at me for a second, and said, I work here.
That is exactly the kind of line someone would say in an old movie from decades ago. Not something people actually say to baristas working behind a counter in real life, Jack.
I know that now, but in that exact moment, I just said, right, of course, and walked away holding my coffee like it was literally the only thing keeping me from completely disappearing into the floor out of pure embarrassment.
And let me guess, that's when you called me panicking about your entire disastrous day, probably sending several confusing voice messages in a row?
I wouldn't exactly call it panicking, Rose. I would call it urgently needing advice from my best friend.
You sent me 4 voice messages in under a minute, Jack. That is panicking. There's no other word for that.
Okay, fine, maybe a little panicking.
A lot of panicking. But don't worry, that's exactly why we're going to replay both moments right now so everyone watching can hear precisely what went wrong, and more importantly, what you should have said instead in each situation.
Please be gentle with me, Rose. I already feel embarrassed enough reliving this entire day all over again.
I'll be exactly as gentle as you were with that poor woman's very confused and slightly insulted dog this morning. Okay, scene 1. I'll play the neighbor. Oh, hello there. Good morning.
Hi, great dog. Very handsome. See, when I say it again like this out loud in front of you, I can already hear how strange that sounds. But somehow, in the actual moment, it felt like the most natural compliment in the entire world.
That's the exact mistake, Jack. In English, we usually save the word handsome for people, not animals. So for a dog, you'd want to say something like, what a beautiful dog, or he's absolutely adorable. Both of those sound warm and completely normal to any native speaker.
Adorable. Okay, I'm filing that word away forever, right next to a permanent note that says never, under any circumstances, call someone's dog handsome again in this lifetime.
Good. Now let's do scene 2, the cafe disaster. Go ahead, say your line exactly like you said it to her.
So, do you come here often? Honestly, saying it again right now, I can hear exactly why she looks so confused. It really does sound like a pickup line from some old black and white movie.
Exactly. That's precisely the problem. A native speaker in that situation would probably just ask something short and simple, like, busy morning? Or how's it going today? Nothing dramatic, nothing scripted, just easy and natural.
I really did overcomplicate absolutely everything today, both conversations. I was trying so hard to sound impressive that I ended up sounding kind of ridiculous instead, which honestly feels very on brand for me lately.
You did overcomplicate things, but honestly, that's exactly how people learn to speak naturally. You try something, it turns out a little messy, and then you fix it and remember it forever. That's basically the entire process.
All right, so let's actually break down what went wrong properly, because I feel like there's real lessons buried inside my extremely embarrassing day that other people watching could genuinely use.
Perfect. Let's do exactly that. First expression, what a beautiful dog. We use the pattern what a plus an adjective plus a noun whenever we're admiring something in the moment. It's spontaneous, not planned, just a natural reaction to something you like.
So I could also use that same pattern for other things too, right? Like, what a nice apartment, or what a great view, or even what a beautiful morning. Anything I genuinely want to admire out loud.
Exactly. Same pattern works everywhere. Second expression, busy morning. Short questions like that work perfectly for small talk with strangers. You really don't need a full, complete sentence when you're just making light conversation with someone new.
I definitely used way too many words in both conversations today, when honestly, a short, simple question would have worked so much better in each situation.
You did. Third expression, the filler, to be honest. We usually use this right before saying something slightly personal or slightly surprising. It softens the sentence and makes it feel more natural and conversational.
Like, to be honest, I get really nervous meeting new people, especially on a first day somewhere completely unfamiliar. That's a perfect example of exactly how I'm feeling right now, even.
That's a great example. And the very last one, fair enough. We use this expression when we accept someone's point or opinion, even if we don't necessarily agree with it completely.
So if you tell me today that my English still needs some serious work, I could respond by saying, fair enough, I'm still learning. And that would sound completely natural and confident.
Exactly right. And honestly, that response already sounds so much more natural than anything you said in that lobby this morning.
Fair enough, Rose. Fair enough. All right, now it's your turn, everyone watching this episode. Think back to your very first conversation in English with a complete stranger, maybe at school, at a new job, or even somewhere online.
What did you actually say in that moment? And more importantly, did it go smoothly? Or was it a little awkward, kind of like poor Jack's very dramatic first day here?
Write your story down in the comments below this video, and try to naturally include at least one expression from today's episode, like busy day, or to be honest, or even fair enough.
And please don't worry if your story feels messy or embarrassing, because Jack's story literally involved a confused elderly dog owner and a barista who thought he was flirting with her, so nothing you share could possibly be more awkward than that.
The real goal here isn't perfect grammar at all. It's genuine communication and real confidence, even when things go a little wrong in the moment. Because honestly, that's how everyone actually learns.
So tell us honestly in the comments, what's your most awkward English speaking moment? And we'll choose a few of your stories to read out loud in a future episode together.
All right, now let's upgrade my genuinely terrible introductions into something a real native speaker would actually say naturally in these exact same situations, starting with the cafe.
Instead of asking, "Do you come here often?" you could simply say, "Hey, how's your day going?" It sounds warm, friendly, and it's incredibly easy for anyone to answer without feeling confused.
What about meeting a brand new neighbor for the very first time, exactly like I did this morning with absolutely no success whatsoever?
You could say something like, "Hi, I just moved in. It's really nice to meet you." That's clear, friendly, and creates zero confusion for anyone listening.
So no compliments about pets at all then, ever, for the rest of my life.
You can still compliment the dog, Jack. Just please don't call it handsome. That's honestly the only rule you need to remember from this entire episode.
Noted. Forever. Permanently burned into my memory. One final upgrade. Instead of repeating myself louder when someone looks confused, I should probably just rephrase the whole sentence completely instead.
Exactly. So instead of shouting the word handsome again at full volume in a public lobby, you could calmly say, "He's really cute. What's his name?" So much softer and warmer.
That's honestly so much better. Why didn't I think of that this morning when I actually needed it the most?
Because you were far too busy being confident, Jack. That's always been your biggest strength and your biggest weakness at exactly the same time.
Fair point. Fair enough, actually. So that was my very first day in this city, everyone. One confused couple, one judgmental little dog, and one extremely patient barista who probably still remembers my face.
And one very patient best friend who had to fix absolutely all of it afterward through several panicked voice messages.
Well, at least tomorrow can't possibly be worse than today was.
Actually, tomorrow you're ordering food in English for the very first time. And trust me, that story is even funnier than this one, so don't miss it.
See you tomorrow, everyone. Come back for another true and slightly embarrassing story from my very confusing first week living in this city.